Okay, so to celebrate the upcoming third Paddington movie, which is Paddington in Peru, I'm going to talk about the U.S. distribution of the all three Paddington movies. Now, I believe you don't know, someone did Laminations made a video about already made a video about Paddington movies had a U.S. distribution. So what we've been talking about I've been doing myself some more minor things we'll talk about. So let's talk about why. So Paddington was the first film was released in UK on November 28, 2014 by Studio Canal in UK, in France, and also the few release dates they had in different countries, including UK, France, Germany, Australia, and New Zealand, respectively. But the US, oh boy, in US market, was distributed by the God help us, the Weinstein Company, led by oh God, Harvey frickin' Weinstein, the disgraced film producer that gotta predict what Bob talk about in a moment. So yeah, the Weinstein Company distributed Predator 3 on December 3rd. Um, was under the TWC and Dimension. Yeah, I know that this is. I think the reason the Weinstein Company's sister label, Dimension Films, has nothing to do with a horror film, mostly like scary movies and Halloween movies, but it's still the Weinsteins made in a family-friendly film that not was produced with the same company made horror and genre films. But despite that, it was a huge success in UK and of course in US. It put in 318.7 million dollars in the worldwide gross, and even in America, well, and even the UK, when it had led by the £8 million. So that was a pretty good hit from the for the first one, and the second movie with and the sequel was followed suit with the Paddington 2 was released in UK by Studio Canal in November 10th, 2017. Only problem, but the US distribution was completely different because why? Well, that's because the Weinstein Company had, you see, originally the Weinstein Company might distribute this film on again distributed by TWC Dimension, but however, due to the Weinstein scandal and especially the sexual abuse accusations against Harvey Weinstein, um, Heyday Films, the producer of that first two Paddington films, and Studio Canal decided to drop the Weinstein U.S. distribution entirely, and then shopping on another studios. And luckily, Warner Brothers, this is the same studio who worked the Heyday worked with Harry Potter films, on board to distribute in U.S. market, and even but but the Warner Brothers agreed to do any future Paddington movies in the North America, but unfortunately that never happened. But the deal would move to Sony Pictures, but more of that later. So the first film was hand distributed by Sony Pictures, but again, more of that later. So nevertheless, the movie got more less than just it got an more okay. It even got a not so Paddington 2 was gone also success, and not a level as the first one, but it still got a 80 $283.7 million worldwide growth, and even actually was belonged to 2027 million worldwide dollars. But I blame Wikipedia, hate myself. But it eventually, I'm gonna mention that this film eventually released in America on, I believe in November, but I'm not sure, but I think in December too. But January 2018. That the release under the movies that seriously were probably late to the party because in releasing the dummy ground that made no sense. So Paddington 2 was a success. It got on 100% of Rotten Tomatoes until the one got a negative review in 4 years, 3, 4 years later. Go figure, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust the tomatoes. And now it leads us to the third film. Now, in the third film was going to be Paddington in Peru was coming this next month in January. Studio Canal continue distribute in some territories like the United Kingdom, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium. I think not Belgium, but Australia and New Zealand. But originally Warner Brothers. But like I said, Warner Brothers is supposed to distribute the film, but unfortunately that never happened. But the third film was now distributed under the Columbia Pictures, more specifically Sony Pictures. Now, the third film, because the Heyday Films were quite a relationship with Sony Pictures, who had distributed Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, since Heyday Films producing. But unfortunately, Heyday Films will not involve in the third film. I'm sorry. The reason because and he had to haul up the financial success for both for Warner Brothers, Bobby and Wonka. That reason that Warner Brothers decided believe me, the Heyday Films would probably not doing would not in producing the third Paddington movie, but eventually but on behalf of the producers in the movie, but and also the Warner Polky would not returning in director's share in the third film, but it belongs to a different director. But it still got a story credit in this movie. So anyway, I think the third Paddington movie was going to be released in UK in November 2014, which got a lot of good reviews. It got a 92% of Rotten Tomatoes, and in France we're in February 5th, and then almost a week later in the United States on February 14th by Columbia Pictures through Sony Pictures. So I'm excited for the new Paddington movie. I haven't seen the first two, but I want to watch on today, Christmas Eve, and the second film we're watching on New Year's Eve. So I'm excited for the new Pirate. So I can't wait to see what happens in the new Paddington movie, and also the world knowing that this isn't doing the Columbia Pictures was middle in the 100th anniversary, and I'm excited what's happening in that. Even those box office failures like Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, Madame Web, Crab of the Hunter, and even The End with Us. Hashtag I stand with Blake Lively. But except for, yeah, I know that The End with Us was good, only accepted, was an only hit. So, by the rest. Again, hashtag I stand with Blake Lively. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next year. Might be released here in Sweden. Oh, I haven't forgot to mention of this thing. You see, I'm gonna forgot what talk about the foreign distribution and distribute Paddington 3. You see, the first off was in a few different countries. The two countries in most specific. The first one was Italy. Now, Eagle Pictures was mini major Italian film distribution already distributes the first two Paddington movies, and of course, since Eagle Pictures, the distribution partner of Sony Pictures since 2022, this 2 years ago, Eagle Pictures distribute along with Sony Pictures third Paddington movie in Italy. So, and of course, SF Studios, most specific, was from Nordic countries, including my country, Sweden, and already distributed the first two Paddington movies in partnership with Studio Canal. And since Sony picked SF Studios had a theatrical distribution agreement with Sony Pictures since 2019, and almost I think 5 years ago, but not sure. Um, they agreed to distribute, and so SF Studios distribute a third Paddington movie in the Nordic countries for Sony Pictures now. And I'm believing that the SF will recently end the partnership with Sony Studio Canal in actual current had a current theatrical distribution with Scanbox, another leading mini major film distribution company, Scanbox Entertainment, will already distribute a few films, notable including in Amy Winehouse biopic Black to Back. I haven't seen it, but it got a mixed reviews. But let's see what happens. So, nevertheless, I'm excited for the new third Paddington movie. I think it come out in next month here in Sweden and the on Valentine's Day in United States. So can see let's see what happens. So also give a shout out to Lamination Studios for the help inspiration to make this video, and I probably check out the original video in the description below. So have a good day and have a great Christmas, and I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, and tomorrow is Wednesday. Yes, I know the remember the memes. Yes, it is Christmas Day, my dudes. Oh!